Hey everybody, happy Monday. And wow, February is almost over. It's my anniversary today. My lady Boomer and I celebrate 28 years today, so pretty excited about that. Although we actually celebrated it this weekend. Had a nice thing going on Saturday where we had a really nice lunch with some friends and both of our kids, their significant others, and one of their significant others' parents came along, and we had a nice meal. And then yesterday we helped one of their other kids move, and then tonight we're also going to go out for a nice meal too. But anyway, so happy anniversary, Lady Boomer. If you happen to be paying attention, I think you're working right now, but every once in a while she's listening. And also, holy smokes, there's a lot of news going on over the weekend. So we're gonna kind of do a what do you call it? Kind of a lightning round the whole day. Although I got a couple topics that are going to get a little more in depth. Education's the theme today. That's what about the children means in the title. And then just a bunch of knickknacks here and there. Lots of silly stuff going on over the weekend. So we'll hit that too. But we'll do that as soon as I get back from the intro, which is right now. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. And stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, me, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. And welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. It is Monday, the 22nd of February, 2021, which means 28 years of bliss for myself and Lady Boomer. Actually, let's just be honest. It hasn't all been bliss. We have worked through a lot of difficulties and triumphs and joy and pain and love, and two kids who've turned out pretty damn good and are no longer in the house with us. And it's a great thing. It's an amazing thing to be with someone that long and still be happy to be with them. And I certainly am. And we're looking forward at least to get to that 50. You know what I mean? It's like that'd be 22 years from now. Do that? Yeah, that'll happen. So anyway, it's a great thing, and we're thinking that's really cool. Also, like I said, we had a pretty good weekend. Oh, I gotta undo that. Thank you. First sponsor of the day. I'm gonna start calling you sponsors. I kind of did that before, but I'm gonna consider you guys sponsors and not donations, because it's what helps keep the show going. Thank you. This is Kyle. I didn't hear. Let me see if I can make this thing work again. Hang on. Oh, there we go. That did work. Okay, it's a little different this time. Thank you, Kyle, first sponsor of the day, who says through Streamlabs, which the Streamlabs things pops up every once in a while, who says, hello, chat people and P-Dawg, also happy anniversary. Well, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that, and appreciate you being a regular, generous sponsor of the show. Greatly appreciated. And also, oh, by the way, Kyle, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day. When you're first, you tend to be that at least once during the show. So thank you very much. We had a really nice anniversary weekend. Did some stuff with friends and hang out with our kids, which is always great. And so there you go. Let's say good morning to everybody. Somehow my chat jumped. But I know who the first was. First today was CNN Sucks, the most redundant name on the internet. And CNN Sucks, you get the bell. Good morning, sir. Also, good morning, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Also, good morning, Maddie and Gunfox61 and let's see, Osasan, Becca Fairley. Oh, wow, this really jumped a lot. Anyway, good morning, Wikipedia Snicket, Select a Boy.
Yeah,
Also, good morning, Legit Low Talker, Tales of Gore, Jonathan Peterson, Hig 1966. Good morning to Chicago Mike, James PFP, Tales of Gore, Buster Outlaws, Dom O'Leary. Guck me, why don't notifications come up for these streams? Oh, that's right. Never mind. Ha ha ha. Well, you know what? The thing is, that's why I start the actual broadcast 20 minutes before the show now, so that you can. Usually, most people get the notifications by then, and then I have my little countdown. I'm going to make a 20-minute countdown when I change that, just so it looks like something's happening. Also, good morning to Mike Savage, Blarg. Cultist 4, good morning. Tyler F. King on Common Law. Well, good morning. That's a name I haven't seen before. And I don't know if that's someone who's changed a name or if that's just someone who doesn't get here as often, but I'm glad you're here. Good morning. MC's in the house.
Stop. Hammer time.
Also, good morning. Why are you so angry? Thomas Cleaver. What's happening? Sheograth. Am I missing anybody? Let's see. Shaden's Advocate. I'm getting there. Holy smokes, a lot of people here already. And Sora Luna, hey, how you doing? Nice to see you. Won't be able to listen live as I'm just heading to work, but happy Monday morning to all. Thank you. Appreciate that. And Jesse Leon, Uncle Bad Touch.
Come on, man.
Wikipedia snippet. Aaron Meredith, Bastard Beast. Let's see. I get Katie the Skate. A whole bunch of people coming in now. Wikipedia snippet said that. Mr. Yes, Jaded Emerald. And I think I got it. I think I did it. I think I got through it. Did I do it? I think I did. Renee Mayette. Hello. Hi. There you are, my dear. All right. I'm there. And Cynical Lindsay. All right. We're getting everybody here. Bastard Beast is not here. Okay. Bastard Beast is not here. Don't get it twisted. All right. Anyway, if you like what we do during the show, make sure you hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Click that bell so you get notifications, sort of. Or you can just follow me on Twitter. Mine's Gab, Parler, Clout Hub. And then I'm also on other streamings or other video services, BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey, Trovo, DLive. I'm on all of them. And if anytime there's a new one, if you need to find me, just see if there's a PDawgKnight in that house, because I'm the same name on every piece of media. Also, good morning, Jaded Emerald and Bliss Moon. Did not miss you intentionally. I just, sometimes my chat jumps and I miss a few. Yep, there you are right there. Okay, got you now. Fantastic. 22 years with your hubby. It has been good and bad days. Would not change a thing. Yeah, you know, part of life and part of being with someone that long is that you learn to get through the good and the bad, and you know, you say till death do you part, and for richer, for poor, for better, for worse. And everyone has the better and the worse, but the better, hopefully for you, completely and utterly outweighs the worse, which it has for us. And as we get older, we've realized how much we've been through, and we're like, oh man, you know, we're doing pretty good. We, you know, raised some good kids. We've done some fun things, and now we're starting to do a lot of fun stuff together that we haven't been able to do for a while, and it's a lot of fun. So, really appreciate my life, and it's, you know, that's how it works. So, anyway, and also, I didn't mention, if you'd like to be a sponsor of the show, you can do that through the links, the Streamlabs link in the description down below, or it pops up in the chat, or the YouTube Super Chats, Venmo, Cashapp, however you want to do it, if you'd like to, if you're able to. Greatly appreciated. Definitely not required, obviously. I'm very happy to do this show on the daily, Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. So most of you already know that's when I'm here. Good morning, Atheist Icon. Who says, I said, death, do your part. Do your part. I just saw that joke this morning. Was that in the server this morning, the Discord server it was the cat. And she said, you said till death do us part. And he said, the cat, you know, that stupid cat meme where the cat and the girl screaming at the cat, and she says, You said till death do us part. And the cat goes, I said death do your part. Yes, I think that's where you saw that. Funny, funny, funny. All right, let's get into what we're going to talk about today. By the way, real quick, thank you to the people who've already tweeted out the show. Cynical Lindsay, Renee Mayette, Tyler F., RVA Dar, Becca Fairley, and Maddie, who've already done the either the retweet or tweeted out the show themselves. You can share the show with the little thing down there with the arrow and all that. Good morning to Sean, Atheist Icon, You're a Ridiculous Lunatic, and Chicago Mike. Welcome to the show. I'm glad everyone's here. All right. So I saw this tweet was it yesterday? No, Saturday. And I immediately bookmarked it because I was like, okay, these people just have no shame. And it was the American Federation teachers who seemed to be a little miffed at an article in the Wall Street Journal. And I was like, fix my chair here. Oh, by the way, I did get my new chair. You can't see it, but I did get an office chair, and it's very, very comfortable. I could sit in it for hours. So this tweet by the American Federation of Teachers kind of pissed me off. And I don't even have kids in school anymore, but I know what parents are going through with this COVID stuff, right? And so this staff, wait, real quick, let me do this, real quick with thank you, Gunny, Gunfox61, always a very generous sponsor of the show, who says, Marty, how did you like your Discord blowing up with the news? Lots of spicy news over the weekend, but just wait, more spicy news. Let the spicy news flow. Well, in fact, Gunfox, we're going over several of the items you put in the Discord server over the last day or two. Have several of them in my tabs here, so thank you so much for that. By the way, we also, if you didn't already know, we have a Discord server that we use. Gunfox is the administrator and the most prolific purveyor of news items in the news section of that Discord. But several of you put articles in there and other videos, and we post our daily video there. We put the daily links from all the stories that I do during my show. We add them to the description of this this video, but we also add them to the Discord server. So it's one link that that has all the different links to all the stories that we cover. And even the ones that I don't get to, that I find are interesting, those will be there. So that information for the Discord server will pop up in the chat every once in a while. And then, and I think that the link's correct. It was correct the last time I checked, but if it's not, you can always get on me about that. Also, quick good morning to Zabla. I always say it like it's like Dracula's saying it. Zabla. But anyway. All right, let's get into this. So this tweet by the American Federation of Teachers pissed me off, but it also took me to an article from the Wall Street Journal. Teacher staff and the unions behind them, they say, are not the barriers to schools reopening. We are a barrier to staff and students being put in danger for Republican talking points. Now, this is a fascinating statement by the American Federation of Teachers, because it's not just Republicans who are annoyed with them. Okay, now here's the corresponding article that they added to this, which is a article written by former governor of New Jersey, Chris Christie. Okay, and made an AFT of themselves. Yeah, they surely did. So here's the article. Biden's CDC changes its tune for obvious political reasons. Follow the science. That was Joe Biden's promise to the American people until Randy Weingarten and the American Federation of Teachers disagreed. I spent much of my time as governor saying that we needed to put children and parents first in public education because it's about the children. thus the title of my show today. The teachers union in New Jersey spent tens of millions of dollars to oppose my reform efforts and protect the status quo. As a result, our per pupil costs were among the country's highest. And families in many urban districts were held hostage by failure. America's public schools have been mostly closed for in-person learning for a year. Those that have opened are proving themselves to be relatively safe. In an article published January 26 in the Journal of American Medical Association, three researchers from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention found, quote, little evidence that schools have contributed meaningfully to increased community transmission, end quote, of the coronavirus. Data from the reopened classrooms don't show the rapid spread that has been observed in congregate living facilities and high-density work sites. The CD researchers looked at more than 90,000 students in 11 North Carolina districts and found that only 32 students and staff members were infected in school. In the same period, 773 got infected outside the school. On January 26th, the science was made clear. Schools can reopen with appropriate safeguards. Then the teachers' unions got involved and the CDC changed its tune. Rochelle Walensky, the center's director, made the following admission at a January 12th press conference. The CDC wouldn't, quote, follow the science, end quote. Direct changes to the CDC's guidance had been made as a result of consultation with teachers groups. To show how far the CDC has moved, Ms. Walensky said that even after everyone had been vaccinated, the CDC still might not recommend that schools open normally. Well, if not then, when will they reopen? And why change positions after backing the science that showed significantly less community spread in schools than in the community at large? Unions in California are demanding shots before returning to work, and then some say they might not even return to work after vaccination. How do we square that with hundreds of thousands of essential workers who have continued to work through the pandemic despite the dangers? Like myself. I have not stopped working at either job that I go to, as opposed to this one, because there's no one here to spread it here. But at my other two jobs, I've never stopped working. Of course, I did get COVID, but I lived through it. I'm one of the 99.97% of COVID survivors. I should get a "I survived COVID" t-shirt. Maybe I'll make one for my show. Would anyone want to, if I put that on I haven't really talked about my my merch stuff, but would anyone want to buy a "I survived COVID" cup? I wonder if I could, I'd have to sell that outside of there because I don't know if anyone else here has had COVID. But anyway, again, adults are placing their own interests ahead of the interest of the children. For the children. It's the unions and their leaders who are doing this, not the rank and file members. Numerous courageous teachers have spoken out against the union position. Schools have reopened in Europe and in some U.S. states, both red and blue, without any major outbreaks caused by in-school transmission. The CDC is being used as a political tool, flip-flopping on the science under pressure from the national unions and their Biden administration allies. The union pack a lot of financial muscles. I still have the bruises from my battles with them. That's Christy saying that. But President Biden's promise to Americans to end these games, or he promised that this betrayal of our children and their families must end the long-term mental health effects and educational deficits created by continuing this policy will be devastating. It's time to put our children's interests first in this pandemic. Here, Governor Christie. I agree with you 100%. They're playing games. They've already got plenty of data knowing that how about a China's asshole mug? Oh, I never even thought of that one. That's right. I should do one of those.
China's asshole.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good idea. I should have asked you guys what kind of things I should put, what kind of merch you would be interested in. I should just start thinking about that. Anyway, yeah, the CDC changing their position on that just because the teachers changed their minds. And that's the same thing in Chicago. It was funny because one of the when they were doing a Zoom call for the Chicago School Board, or excuse me, Chicago Teachers Union, and the head of the Chicago's Teachers Union was doing her Zoom call from her vacation. I can't remember if she is in like the Bahamas or something, but she was doing her Zoom call from a vacation in the Bahamas, talking about why they shouldn't reopen the schools. It's kind of like, you got to be kidding me. Good morning, Attack Opaka, Anna Lynn, check your logic. And I think I got on there. I think now one person brought this up that that perhaps way to fix this problem, not even perhaps, I'm a big advocate for school choice. I think that if you are going to force people to, oh, by the way, Gunfox61,
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
I apologize for that. I'm going to change that to sponsor though, because we're going to, y'all who donate to the show are sponsors. You're not donors. You actually sponsor the show. You help keep it going. So I appreciate that. But yeah, this is not about the science. They already know that children, even up to through high school age, do not transmit this disease, do not get this disease, do not have a severe case of this disease, do not die from this disease at any rate. In fact, this is one disease that children die at a rate lower than the flu because in those age groups. Now, that's not true for the elderly, but it's absolutely true for children. And, if you have teachers who are concerned about getting this disease, again, it's a very low risk disease unless you're getting into your elderly years or unless you have comorbidities. And, they should be able to go back to school. It's just crazy. Now, another article on this one is from the Federalist and just how Biden's playing politics with this whole issue. Biden administration's obvious politic playing on opening schools is alienating even progressive parents. Oh, by the way, the solution to this is to have your school funding per child become portable and let parents have a choice where they send their kids to school. And that would be that'd be a really, really good way to fix that problem, right? I think the teachers unions would have to be like, oh shit, we're losing all these students. Anyway, so Biden administration's obvious politics playing on the opening of schools is alienating even progressive parents. In the run-up to the 2020 election, Joe Biden blamed then-President Donald Trump for the COVID-19 death toll, and not just excess deaths, but for every single person who died with COVID. Hello, Hyman Lyman, by the way. Hyman Lyman. That's it. I keep reading that. Coof t-shirts, I served Dorota, and it's got all its natural antibodies. Oh, and all I got is natural antibodies in this t-shirts. What did you get? Oh my goodness. Mark of the Goof Beast. Okay. Yeah, by the way, I know I'm going off track here, but so Lady Boomer, because of her job, had to get her shots. I'll call them. I'm not going to call them. I had a name for it. I can't remember what it was. The sheen. That's what someone else calls it. The sheen, as in the vaccine. That call it the sheen. And my wife had to get the sheen, right? And so she got her first shot a couple weeks ago or whatever. And Friday she had to do a COVID clinic, and because she is a nurse, and so she's administering these shots, and so she had to get her second shot, and she kind of messed her up. She kind of, I guess I've been hearing this. People who get the second shot in particular, have nausea. She was a little nauseous. She did a little weak, and then also her arm for the second shot, like normally, you know how when you get a shot and your arm kind of aches for a while, maybe kind of in that spot, or maybe a little round spot, like about right around there. Her whole arm, like down from her, what do you call this thing? What's this part called? Anyway, from this part all the way like down her arm was just like hard, and it was getting warm and whatnot, and it was just like aching, and It was kind of weird. But anyway, perhaps one is a placebo. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I don't know why I brought that up. But she didn't have the great experience with the second shot. The first shot was okay, but the second shot was a little rough. Anyway, so again, Biden was playing politics, saying that if the president had done his job from the beginning, all the people would still be alive. No, they wouldn't. Okay, Joe. Sorry, Joe, but there's people all over the world who've died from this at about this roughly the same average numbers, but whatever, in depending on where you are. All the people, I'm not making this up. Just look at the data. Look at the data, Biden intoned to a pliant Anderson Cooper. How many of you got up this morning and had an empty chair at the table because someone died of COVID-19? What a fucking dickhead. Yeah, shoulder. No, but not the shoulder. What's the muscle right here on this? I mean, this is all your shoulder, right? But this muscle, it's like your traps are here, and there's a name for this muscle at the top of your arm at the edge of your shoulder, but I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, the Democratic National Committee likewise stood on the graves of those killed by COVID-19 to score political points, even featuring at Democrats' 2020 convention the daughter of a man killed by the virus. Leftist pundits and propagandists posed as journalists also pushed the narrative that the deaths of loved ones across the country lay at Trump's feet. Now that a Democrat resides in the White House, however, the politicization of COVID-19 deaths has ceased, even with the more than 80,000 Americans reported as dying with the virus since President Biden's inauguration. Instead, the left is now accusing the GOP of weaponizing pandemic-exhausted parents against Biden. Richard Crania, triceps, bicep, not triceps. The other muscle. There's a deltoid. Thank you. That's it. Deltoid. Bliss Moon and Atheist Icon both got that one. All right. Now, how are Republicans triggering American moms and dads? By joining parents' calls for schools to reopen, of course, and by criticizing Democrats who have caved to teachers' unions that demand classrooms stay shuttered pending compliance with the ever-expanding list of demands. Politico, where editors had penned the unwittingly ironic headline accusing Republicans of weaponizing parents, then spun Republicans' position, it claimed GOP lawmakers had offered no commitment to meaningfully engage in public policy and instead responded to continued school closures by striking hard at Biden and Democrats, with more Republicans each week accusing the administration of scaling back their ambiguous goals on everything from testing to school openings. On February 18th, the Washington Post followed Politico's lead with framing the problem with school closings being, quote, not Democrats' policies, but Republicans' criticism of that policy. Of course, it's not the policy, but it's someone who pounced on the criticism of that policy. Yet Republicans have been clear on their position since May. Open the damn schools. It's not striking hard or weaponizing anyone or anything to highlight this policy difference. It's an utter chutzpah for the left-leaning press, which is redundant, pundits and politicians who use COVID-19's deaths on a daily basis to attack Trump, but not, at the time, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, the angel of death, to frame the debate in this light. Leftist media seems to obfuscate the difference on the issue between the two political parties to protect Democrats and teachers' unions. It won't work. Parents across the country see two Americas on school openings. Red states like Texas, Florida, Wyoming, Montana, North and South Dakota have been safely providing in-person education for months. Conversely, schools in the bluest states such as California, Washington, Oregon, and Minnesota remain virtual, although half of our schools are starting to open. They go part-time in class, they take turns, whatever. So anyway, over the course of the last 2 weeks, the country has also witnessed the Biden administration continually shifting its approach to school openings. After promising that 2020 that kids would return to the classroom within the first 100 days of administration, last week, Biden Press Secretary Jen Raggedy Ann Psaki told reporters at the White House the goal was to have a majority of schools, so more than 50%, open by day 100 of his presidency. But then she defined open as some teaching in classrooms, so at least one day a week. Hopefully it's more. Psaki Raggedy Ann later confirmed that goal of 1 day a week among just over half of U.S. schools comprising opening, calling this bold and ambitious. Wow, bold and ambitious. I know Florida schools are completely open. I think they've been open since, well, the beginning of the school year. A lot of schools are open, and they haven't, you know what? Have they had huge spikes in cases in schools? No, they haven't. But anyway, I digress. Yet on Tuesday night during CNN Town Hall in Milwaukee, President Biden claimed Psaki's statement that 1 day a week would meet the goal of in-person learning was a mistake in the communication. What? Biden then assured the virtual town hall audience that a majority of elementary schools will be open 5 days a week by the end of his first 100 days in office. Yet that is not quite what Biden had promised Americans in December. He had committed to seeing that a majority of his schools can be opened by the end of his first 100 days. While on Tuesday night, Biden claimed he had said open a majority of schools in K through 8th grade, a transcript of Biden's earlier 100-day promise tells a different story. Well, come on. Do we really expect Biden to remember what he said a week ago? Come on. He can't remember what he had for breakfast. Just saying. But then on Wednesday morning, Vice President Kamala Harris attempted to cement that new lower standard for success in an interview with NBC Today host Savannah Guthrie. Our goal is to have as many K through 8 schools as possible will reopen within the first 100 days. Our goal is that it will be 5 days a week, and so we have to work to achieve that goal, Harris said. Harris fumbled the interview, unable to explain how the Biden-Harris administration could reach its goal, given that following the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention new guidelines would necessitate keeping 90% of schools shuttered. The vice president was unable to state whether the administration believes teachers needed to be vaccinated before students returned to classrooms, while Biden-Harris, Psaki, Raggedy Ann, seemed unable to provide consistent answers to basic questions about school openings. Republican governors have been more forthright. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis called the CDC's new guidelines a disgrace. Florida schools are open for in-person instruction. Every single parent in the state has a right to send their kids to in-person instruction. We have done it the right way. We are not going to turn back, DeSantis told reporters, adding, what the CDC put out 5 o'clock on Friday afternoon, I wonder why they would do it then, was quite frankly a disgrace. And it's not just Republican politicians calling the endless closures of schools a disgrace. Parents, including self-described progressive parents, are equally outraged, as one Oakland parent posted on Medium. Quote, Trump said open the schools, so we must keep them closed at all costs. I've never felt so alienated from the people I usually align myself with politically. I will never understand how the left in this country has decided that advocating for putting kids first is somehow right-wing. I'm hearing from progressive parents all the time who are so infuriated about the Democratic apathy around school reopening from politicians like Gavin Newsom, who are willing to allow their stances to be dictated by teachers' unions, that they're considering supporting the recall effort, maybe even switching parties. Because here's the thing. Parents are not willing to sacrifice their kids' well-being for the sake of ideology or being a good leftist. Good for her or him. I don't even know if this parent is male or female, but god dang, we need more parents yelling at them. Anyway, Democrats are right to fear their voters are being pushed into the arms of Republicans, but they are being pushed there by the Biden administration policies. That is not Republicans weaponizing parents. That is the consequence of Biden telling voters that President Trump doesn't have a real plan for opening schools safely. He's offering nothing but failures and delusions, when in reality, Biden's soundbite described himself and his party. Ding! That's definitely it. That's definitely it. That's an article by Molly Hemingway, I think, wrote this, or Margot Cleveland wrote this one. So anyway, Oh, and other school news. We're going to just stick with school news for a minute, and then we're going to get into just general news. The entire school board of this place, Oakley School Board, resigns after offensive comments caught on tape. I don't know if you saw this over the weekend, but it's pretty funny. So these teachers or the school board, they were bad-mouthing parents. The Oakley Union Elementary School District announced on Friday that its entire school board has submitted their resignation from their positions after offensive comments were caught on tape. The district says board members Kim Bede, Erica Ippolito, Richie Mercedes, and Lisa Brezindine. Does anyone have normal names anymore? All resigned. Superintendent Greg Hetrick released a statement that read in part, quote, "Dear Oakley Union Elementary School District family, I want to inform you that board members Kim Bede, Erica Ippolito, Richie Mercedes, and Lisa Brezendine have submitted their resignations from their positions on the OUESD school board. This was a difficult decision, but we hear community concerns and we believe yielding to your request that we step down will allow the district to move forward. Please do not let our failure in judgment cast a shadow on the exceptional work that our teachers, administrators, and hardworking employees are doing for students of this district. They deserve and will need your support as you move forward," because they have no school board anymore. Hello, Amy in Connecticut. How you doing? I want you to know that it is tremendous, blah, 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 blah. Here's why. Is this the video? I think this might be it. Here's why they they had to resign.
Gamer!
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Verizon
Let's mute
5G
that.
Ultra.
That's some commercial for, I don't know what that's a commercial for, but it's Samuel L. Jackson animatron figure. All right, here we go.
Oakley Union Elementary School District Board of Trustees has resigned. Lisa Brezendine and other members were caught on video making disparaging comments about parents during an online meeting that they thought was private. So this is Brezendine with the blonde hair. The meeting took place Wednesday night. Brezendine has since been removed from the district's website. Parents want the entire board to step down or be recalled.
Oh,
the superintendent
they're not
issued an
playing
apology yesterday.
Anyway, what they did is they were saying how they were kind of basically talking how stupid the parents were for wanting the schools open and shit. Got busted on tape, and it made
Verizon 5G Ultra.
Come on now. There we go. So they got busted on a live school board meeting, which they thought was not being broadcast anymore. And it kept going, and they started talking about how stupid the parents are and this and that. So anyway, it was pretty funny. Let's see here. Also, New York school official says she was fired for not giving a Wakanda salute. Oh, good Lord. We'll get to the other news in a minute, but this is hilarious. So, Bronx school superintendent said she was fired as the result of Chancellor Richard Carranza's equity agenda that advanced people of color over whites. Karen Ames is suing the New York schools for $150 million because she said she was targeted by Carranza's, quote, disrupt and dismantle campaign. Yes, I think the chancellor's been drinking too much Coca-Cola. Anyway, and she's, because it says she was targeted by Carranza's disruptive mantle campaign to oust or marginalize longtime employees. What? Soon after coming to New York City, Chancellor Carranza praised Bronx Superintendent Karen Ames for raising math scores in struggling schools. Then his first deputy chancellor dropped the axe. She's charging age, sex, and ethnic bias in a $150 million suit. The agenda of Chancellor Carranza and his senior leadership was euphemistically touted as an equity platform. If you ever hear the word equity, either run or punch somebody in the face. Okay, don't do that. I'm just saying in Minecraft and figuratively punch them in the face. An equity, but in reality, it was a platform used to create gender, age, and racial and ethnic divisions in the New York City school system, she contends in her lawsuit. From the New York Post, Ames was grilled about her ethnic background, chastened by a colleague at a training session when she shared her grandparents' experience during the Holocaust in Poland, and admonished when she declined requests at a superintendent's meeting to take part in the comic book movie-inspired Wakanda Forever salute to Black Power, she charges in the legal filing. It's almost too funny to be real, but Ames isn't laughing. Ames was praised by Carranza in a visit to the Bronx school. He praised her for raising math scores at troubled schools, but instead of celebrating Ames' work, Cheryl Watson Harris, Carranza's top deputy, who left last year to become school's chief in DeKalb County, Georgia, interrogated Ames during a chauffeur car ride about her DOE history, Department of Education history, her family, residency, and, quote, improperly inquired about her ethnicity, she claims. I guess the non-discrimination laws are only for the little people. At an implicit bias workshop where superintendents were asked to tell their personal stories, Ames talked about her grandparents' loss of 2 children during the Holocaust, only to have a colleague, Rashida Aman, tell her, "You better check yourself," the lawsuit alleges. This is not about being Jewish. It's about being black and brown, boys of color only. Court papers quote Aman as scolding. Radical educators are banking on parents either agreeing with them or being too busy to pay much attention to what they're filling their kids' heads with for 8 hours. The situation for Ames came to a head in August 2018 when she was summoned by the Department of Education headquarters. There she was handed a termination letter by Watson Harris, who told her the department was moving in a new direction. Colleagues were prohibited from communicating with her, and Watson Harris ordered staff to eradicate any reference to Ames down to the district's purple color scheme she had designed, she charges. When the single mom pleaded to keep her employment, retirement benefits, and health insurance, the Department of Education sent her to a Brooklyn rubber room with nothing to do. Rubber rooms are where they send teachers who've been suspended, but they keep paying them. That's just one of those stupid things. Anyway, a month later, Ames was given a choice: take a demotion or be removed from the payroll in 24 hours. She took the demotion. So yeah, great. So I guess the Jews don't get to be part of the diversity culture in New York City. So there you go. Let's see what else I got. I got a couple more education. Then we're gonna get into some regular news. I'm gonna just leave this article in the tabs, but I'm not gonna get into it too deep. But it's a great article. Are our children not essential? Failing the children of New York. Just an article about how they're keeping the schools closed and they're failing the kids in New For I'll read the beginning. For 150 years, the New York City public schools have remained continuously open and undaunted by all manner of calamities and natural disasters. Throughout our history, from the Spanish flu of 1918, the Great Depression, 2 world wars, Cold War panic, civil unrest, the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001, to Hurricane Sandy, the schools have always been open. Not until 2020 has New York had a governor, a mayor, and a political class during the time of crisis who have so miserably failed the children of New York. They have put our children in harm's way physically, emotionally, and academically. We do not know the full scope of the consequences of these failures on the part of our political leadership, but the closing of our schools for 10 months and likely longer can be considered one of the biggest scandals in the history of our country. It has already taken an enormous toll on a generation of our children suffering in remote learning environments, sequestering endless video games. The laundry list of physical, emotional, academic maladies affecting our children due to remote learning include mental illness, suicide, sickness, depression, anxiety, weight gain, isolation, 10 months of squandered learning, and lost opportunities for academic and athletic scholarships. It has taken an enormous toll on working middle-class parents and their extended family as well. The balancing act that parents must perform is work their child's education and the financial stability of their families, these challenges that parents face are simply devastating. Never has the pressure been so unevenly placed upon the family unit than it has today by New York politicians, and I would say politicians in many states. It's just awful. And if you want to, I suggest reading this entire article. It's very good, but it's a little too long to go through the show today. But weren't they perfected wiping the hard copy by the 1930s? Remember, the kids, parent-teachers conferences are the time to meet and greet who and what is teaching your child and complain to the administration. Just saying. Yeah, I mean, boy, there's a whole lot of things that that just the in-person learning does for kids. You know, that it's just it's tragic, and they know the truth about what in-person learning can do for the kids, and that it is safe. And if you have teachers that are at risk, then you take those teachers out of the situation, but you don't take the children out of that situation. Let's see, what was the other one here? Since it's an education theme, by the way, the University of Kansas is cutting its humanities department as wokeness destroys academia within. This is another good one that I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but the highlights here. The humanities departments at multiple schools have seen reductions in recent years. At some schools, the departments have been completely cut. That's what seems to be unfolding at the University of Kansas today. The Associated Press reports the University of Kansas says it plans to eliminate 2 undergraduate programs and an entire department in a cost-cutting move. Provost Barbara Bickelmeyer told the Kansas Board of Regents Wednesday 15 undergraduate programs did not meet enrollment requirements, meaning that no one's enrolling in these programs, which is, I think, it's a good thing. I think that a lot of the humanities is are woke classes that end in the word studies, and you know my opinion on majors that end in the word studies. If your major ends in the word studies, you might want to start studying menus. Anyway, the university plans to discontinue its humanities department. It will also eliminate degrees in humanities and visual art education. It's part of an ongoing trend. Apparently, here's the trend, according to Forbes in 2019. Labor economists predicted the need for more college graduates in coming years, citing the upticks in cognitive and technical skills the future economy will demand from workers. Such projections focus not only on the number of needed graduates, but also on the fields of studies that will be most in demand. How are college students responding to this information? Are they shifting to more occupationally entitling majors, as many have suggested? Anecdotal reports suggest the arts and humanities have suffered a substantial decrease, but national figures are seldom invoked to back such claims. The most complete data on majors in college graduates are reported by the National Center of Education Statistics, which charts the number of bachelor degrees awarded by U.S. colleges and universities in 32-degree fields. Which are the majors losers and which are the winners? Considering those majors with at least 1,000 graduates, 9 fields of studies experienced decreases in awarded baccalaureate degrees over this 10-year period, despite overall increase in college graduates. But humanities is the ones that have suffered the most. Education, English, philosophy, transportation, architecture, foreign language, and liberal arts and general studies. Yeah, so there you go. So they're dropping some programs, and goodbye to the studies classes. Although here's a class that they have at Cornell University. Cornell University offers a racially segregated rock climbing course. All right. Then scrubs its website to hide their racism. Cornell University is very woke. They're so woke that they offered a rock climbing course for BIPOC students only. BIPOC, for those of you unwoke, stands for Black, Indigenous, and People of Color, a catch-all for everyone oppressed by white people.
You're fucking a white male!
The course isn't cheap either. Campus Reform reports that the school charges $1,890, including the standard cost of a 1-credit course, which is $1,575, and an additional mandatory course fee of $315. It's expensive to get woke at Cornell. Campus Reform confronted school authorities about the blatantly racist course description, which led the school scrubbing its website to change the course requirements. If you're going to be racist, you should own it. According to the new description posted on Cornell's website, the class will provide a high degree of individual attention and a supportive space where students will discuss BIPOC individuals and groups in rock climbing. The new description states that the class is now open to all students who are interested in learning rock climbing with this special focus. So apparently, I guess there's a different skill set for rock climbing for white people than BIPOC. So there you go. Now here's their explanation given by the school. When asked for comment, John Carberry, Cornell Senior Director of Media Relations and News, issued a statement to Campus Reform, claiming that all Cornell students are welcome to enroll in the course, contradicting the original course description. Carberry insisted that the course's original description reflected an intentional focus on outreach and inclusion. Notice all the buzzwords. But there was never any intention to exclude students that don't identify as BIPOC. All Cornell students are welcome to enroll in this course, while the original description of the course represented an intentional focus on outreach and inclusion. There was never an intent to exclude non-minority students. The description of the course has been adjusted accordingly, Carberry said. I wish they had the original one up here, but they don't. Anyway, they're breaking New York human rights laws. But anyway, so a course called BIPOC Rock Climbing was so named as a intentional focus on outreach and inclusion. I call bullcrap on that. The title and course description were exclusionary, and no amount of pussyfooting double talk will change it. That's the writer here. I agree. That's crazy. Hello, Cairo Alexander. How you doing? And Lord Stanhope. And I think I got everybody. So there you go. Hilarious. Just hilarious. All right, one more educational article, then we'll get into some general news. Apparently at Smith College, critical race theory cost a brave Smith College whistleblower her job. Now, let me do I'm sorry. We have the, thank you, Gunfox61, for the donation. Thank you for being a sponsor of the show, who says, U.S. schools are such failures. Common Core, No Child Left Behind. Now the U.S. schools fail so hard, most kids cannot read, write, or do math, let alone know history, and it's only going to get worse. I wonder why. Ban all teachers' unions. Well, yeah, the teachers' unions don't seem to be, they don't seem to be focused on the kids now, do they? And it's funny, people complain about, teachers just don't make enough money and this and that and whatever. And I'm just thinking, that's not true. Teacher salaries are higher than your average salaries for most anything else. Now, and then they say, well, they work long hours. Well, yeah, they work long hours 9 months of the year, but get paid year round for their 9 months of the year. At least that's the way it worked in my mom and dad's school district. Both my parents were educators, and they made decent money, and certainly higher than average money. And a teacher who's been around 10 years, probably around the United States, probably averages at least $70,000, $80,000 a year. I know in the school district where I am, they're paid higher than that. The average salary in our school district is higher than that. Now, granted, we're in a suburban school district, but I think in some of the more urban school districts, like in Minneapolis, they're also paid those high rates because it's hard to attract teachers there in the first place because kids, a lot of it, the idea that, and Gunfox, here's something interesting that I want to add. I don't know, it's that it's always the schools that fail the kids. I tend to believe that it's more the parents fail the kids, the environment fails the kids, the culture fails the kids. Because for example, in a lot of the urban schools, it's not that there's no opportunity to learn, okay? There are teachers who do just fine, and guess what? I always judge by, okay, are there any kids from that school that go to college or end up in an Ivy League school or are there any kids that go on to college and are successful in life? If there are even only a handful, that means that the opportunities for learning were there. And a lot of times it's the culture of, you're not supposed to, you're being too white if you try to be successful in school. And it's funny because we're going to get into this Coca-Cola thing we're going to talk about after the news. That is exactly that. It's like, a lot of the things that make you successful is now being labeled as whiteness, and it's going to make things so much worse. It's embarrassing. Anyway, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, a very consistent sponsor of the show, who says we need to keep those honkies off the rocks. Now that's progressive.
That's right.
Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite. I was trying not to laugh when I said we need to keep those honkies off the rocks. Now that's progressive. Yes. Anyway, let's go. Critical race theory cost a brave Smith College whistleblower her job. A staff member at Smith College, Jody Shaw, resigned her position as a student support coordinator because of the hostile atmosphere at the college. It appears that Ms. Shaw ran afoul of the critical race theory fanatics who forced her to participate in racially prejudiced behavior as a condition of her employment. Shaw, being a normal, intelligent woman, rebelled. She blew the whistle on the radicalists at Smith College in a scathing video she posted on YouTube. How long is this? 10 minutes. All right. It'll be in the tabs if you on this article. Just you'll have to watch her thing. But here's some of the thing. Barry Weiss has covered this disturbing story. I ask that Smith College stop reducing my personhood to a racial category. Stop telling me what I must think and feel about myself, she said. Stop presuming to know who I am or what my culture is based upon my skin color. Stop asking me to project stereotypes and assumptions onto others based on their skin color. Oh, yeah, that is, I'm going to watch the entire video now. Barry Weiss says, everyone knows something's wrong is happening in liberal America. Few want to say so out loud, but the hour is very late. It calls for courage. Courage has come in the form of Jody Shaw, who today resigns from Smith College, proud to publish her letter. This is the essence of critical race theory. In order to make progress in combating racism, everyone is reduced to a stick figure. It's so much easier to define individuals when you identify them as members of a specific group with specific beliefs, biases, and prejudices. In a resignation letter to the university president, she didn't pull any punches. Quote, every day I watch my colleagues manage student conflict through the lens of race, projecting rigid assumptions and stereotypes on students, thereby reducing them to the color of their skin. I am asked to do the same, as well as to support a curriculum for students that teaches them to project those same stereotypes and assumptions onto themselves and others. I believe that such a curriculum is dehumanizing, prevents authentic connection, and undermines the moral agency of young people who are just beginning to find their way in the world. Gosh, give this woman a medal. And then Ms. Weiss catalogs the damage this theology is doing to people in all walks of life, of all colors. Quote, we all know something morally grotesque is swallowing liberal America. Almost no one wants to risk talking about it out loud. Every day I get phone calls from anxious Americans complaining about the ideology that wants to pull all of us into the past. I get calls from parents telling me about the damaging things being taught in the schools, so-called anti-racist programs that urge children to obsess on the color of their skin. I get calls from people working in corporate America forced to to go do trainings in which they learn that they carry collective race-based guilt or benefit from collective race-based virtue. I get calls from young people just launching their careers telling me that they feel they have no choice but to profess fealty to this ideology in order to keep their jobs. Almost no one who calls me is willing to go public. I understand why. To go public with what's happening is to risk their jobs and their reputations. It just goes on. We need more Jody Shaws in the world. So yeah, check this article out and check out her 10-minute video. It is in the article in the tabs today. All right, let's get into just some a little more general news. Courtesy of GunFox61, who threw a bunch of stuff in the Discord server. And again, if you're looking just for a list of just articles to fill you in on some of the things happening in the world, that is a good place to go. GunFox is prolific, and I do appreciate those efforts very much. So yesterday was I didn't change this over, did I? Let me fix this article real quick, and then we'll go right into it. These are all going to be just some quick hits. Louisiana shooting spree. Left 3 people dead, armed citizens credited with saving lives. It happened near a gun store. I heard that this happened in a gun store, but it was actually near a gun store and range just outside of New Orleans. Armed citizens were credited with limiting fatalities in a shooting in Louisiana on Saturday that left 3 people dead, including the suspect, according to authorities. The outburst at a gun store and range just down the road from Louis Armstrong New Orleans International Airport also left 2 people wounded, according to the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office. And if you're not familiar with Louisiana, their counties are called parishes, not counties. Arriving deputies located several victims suffering from gunshot wounds. The sheriff said in the statement 3 individuals were pronounced dead on the scene, and 2 more were transported to a local hospital for treatment. The 2 transported victims are in stable condition. Now, I also have a Hill article here that just tells you that customers and staff at a New Orleans gun area shop and shooting range on Saturday opened fire on the shooter who killed 2 people in an incident and in which the shooter died. They always say, well, how do you stop people with guns? Well, people with guns never stop people with guns. Well, in this case, it is what happened. I have both articles, but I'll go back to the Fox one. It happened near a gun shop and shooting range on Airline Drive in Matar, Louisiana, just west of New Orleans, and the armed people at the scene helped subdue the gunmen, according to authorities. At this time, it appears the suspect shot 2 victims inside the location, then was engaged and shot outside the location by multiple other individuals. The sheriff's statement continued. The suspect is one of the deceased on the scene. Now, what's crazy about this, it's like, who's going to go try to shoot up people at a gun shop? It's like, there are going to be people armed there. Oh, gosh, I'm going back to the rock climbing Justin Anderson. Hi, good morning, Justin Anderson, by the way, and Keenan. How you doing? So they don't want crackers on the rock, and Coke hates Whitey too. I sense a pattern. Yeah, there's a pattern going on, and it's getting annoying, even to me as a black man. All right, another thing happened in the world, and apparently a police officer in Kentucky was fired on Friday for allegedly sharing information with Black Lives Matter protesters. Let's see. Police officer in Kentucky was fired Friday over allegations that he gave a Black Lives Matter organizer information about other officers working protests that could be used to insult, intimidate, and harass. Lexington police officer Jervis Middleton was relieved of his duties following a unanimous vote by the Lexington-Fayette Urban County Council. After a 9-hour hearing and 2 hours of closed deliberations, the Lexington Herald leader reported Officer Middleton's conduct during a highly stressful and potentially vulnerable time during the history of our community, the most significant policing event in our community in 20 years, demonstrates that he should no longer be a police officer, said Keith Horn, a lawyer for the city of Lexington, according to the Herald leader. Lexington Police Chief Lauren Weathers and an internal police disciplinary board had recommended Middleton's firing over several policy violations for sharing department information and for allegedly lying about it. He had also been demoted recently for a separate complaint related to accusations he used department resources to look up information about a woman he once had been romantically involved with, according to the newspaper. I felt the discipline he received last time should have been a message to him and allow him to come back and become an officer that I know he can be. Weather said, after this, I just can't see him coming back. To me, it was a violation of trust and violation of the position of a police officer. He was supposed to protect the public, but he should also protect his fellow officers. So anyway, he was giving, to make a long story short, he seemed to be giving some of the Black Lives Matter people personal information about his fellow officers. Of course, he came back. Let's see. He denied sharing information with BLM leader Sarah Williams, a friend, but admitted it when he was shown the text messages obtained through a search warrant. City lawyer Horn said. Middleton's lawyer argued he shouldn't be fired because, in their view, the information he shared with Williams didn't jeopardize deputy officers' safety and should be considered free speech. Well, I don't know about that. Anyway. He also claimed he had been racially discriminated against at the department by other officers, but the department had not investigated his claims. Anyway, he alleged in one of several examples another officer had called him a token boy during a police event, but had not been disciplined over it. After some confusion during the hearing about whether racial discrimination allegations had not been investigated because of a formal complaint may not have been filed, Weathers, who is also black, said he will make the process for filing a complaint clear in the future. So his commanding officer was also a black man. So anyway, of course, the ACLU criticized the firing, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, moving on. Also news, New Mexico governor spent taxpayer cash on groceries and booze, according to reports. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham also hosted in-person staff meetings at the same time she was urging limits on gatherings because of the coronavirus. Well, now that's what she should be in trouble for. In the middle of a pandemic. In the middle of a pandemic! Hello, Gamer Valine. I see you. New Mexico's Democrat governor is on the defensive after a report this week detailed her office's spending from a taxpayer-supported expense fund. Records show Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham spent nearly $13,000 over a 6-month period in 2020 on items such as groceries, dry cleaning, and alcohol, the Santa Fe New Mexican reported. The booze spending, including a purchase in September of more than $200 for 5 bottles of tequila. Damn, that must be some damn good tequila. 2 bottles of vodka. Oh, I see. There's more. 2 bottles of vodka, 2 bottles of Merlot, and single bottles of whiskey and gin, the report says. In the same report, the newspapers disclosed that Grisham was hosting in-person staff meetings at the governor's mansion at the same time she was urging the public against mixing households in order to help stop the spread of coronavirus. Well, that brings me to one of my proverbs. Let's see, which one is that? Let's see, let me find it real quick here because this one's appropriate. Let's see. Let me find it here. I don't know it off the top of my head, but because I want to say it correctly. Let's see. Here it is. Here it is. Is she a Democrat? I don't even know if she's a Democrat. She might not be a Democrat now that I think about it. Hang on a second here. Let's see. She is. Oh, you know what? Oh yeah, she's a Democrat. Okay. Yeah, this is applicable then. Here's the proverb that applies to this story. Democrats make rules for others to obey. There you go. Good morning, Avocado Family. Well, it is an expense fund, and those are expenses. Well, yeah, I guess it kind of is, right? Good morning, BG. How you doing? With how shitty that officer was, I'm thinking there was plenty of evidence that he was a token hire. No one is that shitty without some type of nepotism involved. Otherwise, they would have fired earlier. That's possible. I don't know. You never know. Anyway, so she's in trouble for that. Also, Representative Jayapal. Everyone knows who Representative Jayapal is, right? Pramila Jayapal I think she's from the state of Washington, right? She's one of the squad. Well, she's kind of one of the squad. She's squad-esque. Anyway, she's kind of taken to Twitter. Something about some tweet about canceling $50,000 in student loans, but it doesn't go exactly as planned. Please figure out what to give working class people who feel they're footing the bill with nothing in return, one respondent wrote. So Pramila Jayapal, Democrat from Washington, took to Twitter to continue the pressure campaign of President Biden to forgive student loan debt of up to $50,000 by executive order. But she might not have been prepared for some of the responses. Well, thing is, why would he be able to do that by executive order? Can anyone explain to me why he would be able to cancel student loan debt, any student loan debt, by executive order? That just doesn't seem right to me. Anyone figure that out? Anyway, so she's like, I want to hear from you. How would canceling $50,000 of student loan debt help you and your family? Well, some of the replies on Twitter to Jayapal tweet question, what could be done for those who had already paid off their loans? Could I have the $50,000 I already paid to put back into my bank account? One user wrote, I concur, because I paid off my student loan a long time ago. And I would love to have that money back. Thank you, GunFox61, for another sponsorship in the via Streamlabs, who says, Marty, for the amount of news coming today, better schedule a 4-hour block of the day to do a news show. Oh, the news drop is coming soon. Also, are you shocked that Democrats lie, cheat, and steal and bribe their way into office? The short answer to that, thank you, by the way, GunFox61. The short answer to your question, no, not at all. Anyway, also thank you, Gamer Moline, with the thank you for sponsoring the show through your super chat donation on YouTube. Who says, you mean the Crimson Chin? Okay, I think you're probably talking about Pramila Jayapal, and I'm not going to say anything about her chin because it's never mind. Good morning, Snoopy. Snoopy's in the house. I just noticed you were here. Hello, how you doing? Welcome to the show. It says, if they're going to cancel student loan debt, then I want my money refunded for actually paying for my education. I'm saying, now I could see if they decided to encourage colleges and universities to look through their endowment and maybe, offer to pay some people some money back because they made you spend a hell of a lot of money in school. Here's the thing. So at the University of Chicago, for example, their students don't take out student loans. And that was one of the schools that my son was looking at going to when he went to college, and he ended up going to the University of St. Thomas instead. But because their basketball coach came to recruit him, and this is Division III, so there's no basketball scholarships. And we're sitting in my living room with the basketball coach sitting in our living room, and he's trying to get him to come to the University of Chicago because they want smart kids to go there. And we're like, okay, how much does it cost you to go to the University of Chicago? And he says, well, he didn't want to say it too fast, but he did say it eventually. He said, it's $63,000 a year. I'm like, what? $63,000 a year. But here's the thing. Nobody actually pays to go to the University of Chicago the entire $63,000 unless they're a really wealthy family or whatever. But what they do is you fill out the FAFSA stuff and they tell you what your family contribution is going to be, and then they usually, with most schools, they tell you, well, here's how much we got in grants, here's how much we have in possible scholarships, and then here's how much you would take out in loans. And a lot of people go, oh, well, I'm going to keep going to this school even though I got to take out this massive student loan debt. University of Chicago does not do that. Beyond your family contribution, when they get your thing back from FAFSA, they give you that and whatever grants you're eligible for. They don't do scholarships, But whatever the amount at the University of Chicago that the FAFSA comes back in student loans, the University of Chicago has like a $3 billion endowment. All of their students, rather than having to take out loans, get grants. So the only really out-of-pocket cost is whatever the FAFSA says your out-of-pocket cost to be. And that's gonna, it's, you know, it's significant, but it's usually manageable. But the rest they do in a grant from their endowment. Not a single student who graduates from the University of Chicago comes out with student loans unless they get loans from a private bank for whatever. Okay, but not student loans. And a lot more schools could probably do that. I'm sure that most of those Ivy League schools with, you know, high mega endowments can do that. I'm sure many of the state schools could do that. Maybe not on the same scale, but that would be the solution, is not to have the government just forgive student loans, which the government still already paid for that, right? No. Anyway, so some of the replies to on Twitter to Jayapal's tweet. Here's some. Please figure out what to give working class people who didn't go to college to avoid this and feel they're footing the bill with nothing in return. Another user wrote, "Ding, yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people don't go to college. Why are we paying off student loans for people who probably, you know, now here's the other thing. So a lot of these people who take out these student loans, so they still, like a lot of them don't graduate, but they still have the student loans. Well, that's some poor planning, right? Or at least, I don't know. Some other things they said, cancel the interest, not the actual loans. Why shouldn't be held responsible for their own education investments? Yeah, you thought this was an investment. Well, this is the chance you took. So you should be paying off your own loans. It doesn't make sense. All right, moving on to the news. Also, United Airlines passenger ordered to pay a $50,000 fine for hitting a flight attendant, forcing a plane to divert to Alaska. He'd also threatened to kill the flight attendant after he was denied an alcoholic beverage. Well, that sounds stable. A man from California has been ordered to pay nearly $50,000 in restitution after attacking a United Airlines flight attendant last February and forcing the Tokyo-bound plane to divert to Alaska. Seskan Kumtong of North Hollywood appeared in court earlier this week, where he was sentenced to 5 years probation in order to reimburse the United Airlines for expenses incurred during the diversion, which included the cost of meals and lodging for the rest of the flight's displaced passengers and crew. Expenses that totaled $49,793. Prior to Tuesday's sentencing, Kumtong had pleaded guilty to interfering with flight crew during arraignment in November, the Anchorage Daily News reported. Great. So yeah, 50 grand. That little fight with the flight attendant cost him 50 grand. Thank you, Gabriel Valine, for sponsoring the show again. Who says Ivy League is a free ride for families less than $65,000 a year, and you get aid for less than $150K. Yes, that is true. Well, free ride, is it? Or do they have loans? Or they must use their endowments also. So good. Well, more schools need to do that instead of forcing people into the student loan factory. That makes it, I mean, and look, if you're out there researching what schools you're going to and figuring out, you know, how you're going to pay for it and figuring out how much it's going to cost you after you leave, maybe choose a different school. You know, choose the better opportunity somewhere else. Anyway, that is one expensive drink. Yeah. And he never even got it. That's the other part. They wouldn't give him the drink. So holy shit, $50,000 for one drink. Good luck there, buddy. Anyway. And finally, in just the news section here, United flight engine catches fire after Denver takeoff. and it safely returns to the airport. If you didn't see this one, here's part of the debris that fell from the sky in one Colorado residence's front yard. Looks like it didn't hit anything. Imagine, look where that landed. It's right there, and I don't know if they picked that up or not, or if that landed there, but if it landed there, holy crap, because it looks like it crushed something here. It missed the house and the truck. Anyway, United Airlines flight experienced an engine failure after taking off from Denver International Airport on Saturday, but landed safely after dropping debris over northern Colorado, officials said. The Hawaii-bound jet was a Boeing 777 with 10 crew members and 231 passengers on board, according to reports. I wonder if they were socially distanced. Anyway, frightening video recorded from inside the plane showed the damaged engine on fire. When it initially happened, I thought we were done. I thought we were going down, passenger David DeLucia, who was traveling with his wife, told the Associated Press. After hearing an explosion and seeing a flash of light, DeLucia said he quickly stuffed his wallet in his pocket, thinking it would help responders identify his body more easily if he did not survive, he told the Associated Press. Much of the debris landed in Commons Park, and in the Northmore and Redleaf neighborhoods of Broomfield, which is about 20 miles north of downtown Denver. So here's how this is.
Hear it?
Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh my God, it's just a plane. It's just a plane.
Okay, this is someone.
No, it's something.
Seeing the
blew
black
up.
cloud of smoke from the plane. Can't really tell. Here, hang on a second.
You see that? There's like a little black cloud of smoke right there. Hear it?
Yeah.
There,
Oh my God, it's just a plane. It's just a plane.
oh, see, that's where they showed where the engine went.
No, it's
blew up.
something blew up.
No, that's wild. So they got that on at least the spot there.
You see that? There's like a little black cloud of smoke right there.
There was also a video from inside the plane, though. But this is, let's see, this is debris. Miraculously, no injury reported on board the aircraft or on the ground. The damaged engine caused the plane to lose altitude, with a trail of black smoke visible to people on the ground, the AP reported. A large circular piece of the plane fell next to a house in Broomfield, Colorado. Like, that's where it landed. Like, it literally missed the house, missed the truck, just standing there on their front sidewalk. And then also debris also fell near a dog park and on a turf field in Broomfield Park. So the National Transportation Safety Board is investigating the incident. Here's another video. This is the moment United Flight 328 landed. Passengers cheer. You can see the damaged engine. Let's see. You can kind of see the debris on the top of the engine there, and they landed safely, so that's good. Apparently, the planes are designed, I guess, to be able to fly with one engine with a skilled pilot. So good for them. Thank goodness. There was also the one with the there was one where you could actually see the engine on fire, but they don't have that video here. So anyway, and then finally, this one here. Furious Texas homeowners hit with eye-watering electricity bills up to $17,000 due to high demand during the freeze. I got a feeling that some of these Texans are going to get some amended electricity bills, or at least I hope so. Texas homeowners have been hit with more than brutal winter storms. They're getting the accompanying massive electricity bills. Electricity bills for Texans shot up as high as $17,000 per month following a nasty winter storm that caused power outages and wreaked havoc. The outages create a huge demand for heat, which drove up utility bills for many suffering residents. Rates in Texas jumped from $50 to $9,000 per megawatt in some instances as demand soared during the energy crisis, according to the WFAA. Dallas resident Ty Williams' bill spiked from $600 last month to almost $17,000 so far this month, he told the news station. How in the world can anyone pay that, said Williams, who got his bill from the energy company Griddy. Yeah, so a lot of people are getting ridiculous bills. We'll see what happens with that, I just got to say. And then just some residents got electricity bills in the tens of thousands for the month. Apparently, the statement broke down to $3,700 in wholesale electricity plus, this is someone's bill where their bill was almost $4,000. $3,700 in wholesale electricity plus $68 in transmission and distribution utility charges plus $6.12 in Griddy membership and $24 in taxes fees. That amounted to $3,801.16 for just over 2 weeks of service. You have to see what happens there. The couple tagged Texas Governor Greg Abbott, Senator Cruz, and news outlets and tweeted that Griddy told them to switch, but the process was on hold for more than a week. Using as little as possible in a 1,300 square foot house, and this is my bill. How is this fair, they wrote. I only paid $1,200 for the whole 2020 year. And then Dallas suburb residents, Royce Pierce, said that the electricity bill for his 3-bedroom home hit $10,000 in a matter of a few days. We're hoping there will be relief. This is something we can skate by and tackle as time goes on, but how many people can't? A lot. Yeah, it's crazy. All right. Let me get into the other thing that I really wanted to get into today. And that would be Coca-Cola, or Woca-Cola, as many people are calling it. This will be my last story of the day, but it's the one that just had me laughing over the weekend. So apparently, Coca-Cola employees, let's see, I got a couple stories about this. Where's the other one? Well, here's the main one here. Apparently, Coca-Cola employees, is that on the screen, right? Oh, yeah, let's see. Let me fix this real quick. Make it easier to see. There we go. Coca-Cola forcing employees to take an online course to learn to be less white. Coke responds to backlash. Our Better Together global learning curriculum is part of a learning plan to help build an inclusive workplace. There's one of those buzzwords, inclusive. And with the message, try to be less white. Coca-Cola is barreling full steam ahead in hopes of being crowned the most wokest woke company of the Uber Woke 2021. Last month, Professor Jacobson wrote about Coca-Cola imposing racial quotas and outside council staffing. This month, we learned Coca-Cola is forcing its employees to attend a divisive, destructive online course designed to make them hate themselves because of the color of their skin. Making white people hate themselves for the color of their skin is, of course, the goal of all this ridiculous, frequently racist, anti-racist training that has taken over our universities and our government and our major and not so major businesses and corporations. And Coca-Cola is apparently fully on board with the dehumanizing of their staff, with instilling them in a sense of self-hatred and a paranoid, judgmental loathing of their entire race. What says stellar employee more than a suicidal, soul-destroyed self and race hater who is required to be less white? This is a monstrous evil inflicted on people who have done nothing wrong, who are good employees, and who have committed no crime beyond the new crime of being born white. This is Karen, Karlin Bershinsky, or whatever her name is. She's the former Democrat who went through the what's that guy's name? Oh, she was a walk away person. But anyway, here's some of the images from this campaign. Confronting racism, understanding what it means to be white, challenging what it means to be racist. Okay, maybe that's part of the training there. But then it goes on. Oh, to be less white is to be less oppressive. I'm trying to figure out which one of y'all are being oppressive. See, I'm not white, so I don't have to worry about this, do I? Be less arrogant. Huh. What does that mean? Like, for example, my neighbor Joe, he's one of the most down-to-earth people on the planet, and he's white. Be less certain. Well, be less certain about what? What if you actually know something? If you know the correct answer and you know it's correct, and you've been doing your research, I'm happy if people be certain. Be less defensive. Be defensive about what? Oh, maybe about this course? Be less ignorant. Oh, you make assumptions. Be more humble. Well, wait a minute. What if you're really good at shit? I don't have to be humble if I'm really that good. Listen, believe, break with apathy, break with white solidarity. You know what's really weird? I have never, I mean, seriously, and I know a lot of you are white people here, right? Do you have some major solidarity with all white people, or are some white people just assholes? I'm just curious where they get this from. I don't know. Break with white solidarity. I'll full screen this so you can see the whole damn thing. Here's the next slide. Oh, thank you, Gunfox61. Hey, Texas, how's that solar and wind power? My power never stops. It comes from coal-fire powered plants. Coal power, best power. Coal-fire power. Also, FTG Coke leadership. Go woke, go broke. This could be, is Coke immune from go broke? I mean, they kind of are, but still, I know a lot of people talking about drinking Pepsi, but I don't know if the Pepsi company's going to be any better. Anyway, thank you, Gunfox61, for being a sponsor of the show. Greatly appreciated. Sponsorships come through YouTube, SuperChats, and Streamlabs during the show, and then the other just things you can do down below in the description. Thank you so much, Gunfox61. Appreciate it. Here's another slide. Oh, for God's sake. In the U.S. and other Western nations, white people are socialized to feel that they are inherently superior because they are white. That is completely and utterly false. How are they? Okay, wait a minute. They're socialized to feel that they are superior, that they are inherently superior because they are white. Do any of you feel inherently superior to Dr. Ben Carson? I'm just curious, because you are white and he's not. None of you white people, because not everybody here is white, I understand. But those of you who are white, do you feel inherently superior to Dr. Ben Carson? Or do you feel inherently superior to Thomas Sowell? Or do you feel inherently superior to, I don't know, I don't know. Because you are white, socialized. Research shows that by age 3 or 4, children understand that it's better to be white. Now that might be true, but that's not because they are taught necessarily. And I don't know, is it by 3 or 4 they understand it's better to be white? I'm confused. I gotta look at the research on this shit. Anyway, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
For sponsoring the show again. Coke told their employers to be less white, so you honkies should come and work in blackface.
That's right.
Oh my God. It worked for Justin Trudeau and Virginia governor.
That's right.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, my chair won't come back up now. What the hell? Come on, chair. God. my gosh, that's hilarious. So you should work in blackface. Oh my God. Thank you for sponsoring the show, Black Keeper Israelite. God, I just don't know where these oh, obviously this is Robin DiAngelo. She's a lunatic. And the last slide, try to be less white. Okay, people, try to be less white, will ya? Just try to be less white. Of course, let's see, for people asking to verify this, the course is publicly available on LinkedIn. You can see it for yourself. The Coca-Cola icon is in the top right-hand corner and on some of the images because they're using LinkedIn content for their internal platform. And here's the, I'll even link you this. Here's the, unlock this course with the free trial. Join today. Access over 1,600 courses. Oh, God. This is Robin DiAngelo. She's a lunatic. Oh, my God. Anyway. One thing you all should keep in mind is that Coke probably isn't the only company using this training with their employees. It's on LinkedIn Learning. Any company can pay for it, whether the companies are making their employees do it. We shouldn't be boycotting Coke. We should be boycotting Robin DiAngelo. Oh, absolutely. That woman's nuts. And Coke confirms it's real. For all you skeptical doubters, Coca-Cola confirms training employees to be less white. Oh, why are the white people mad in the replies? Having my ass off. I don't know. White people co-opting art, music. Oh my God. And then there's people who are onto this shit. Get the fuck out of here. White people have been co-opting art, music, dance, both come to mind, from other cultures to their own financial benefit for a very long time. Suddenly people are getting upset because someone tells them to do exactly what they've been doing all along. Think it through, folks. Well, no. That's not it. Anyway, thank you, Maddie, with the 5-spot through Streamlabs. Thank you for being a sponsor of the show. Who says, I feel inherently superior that I screw things up on the regular and that my Cubanness asks my whiteness for compensation. Well, there you go. You could pay yourself reparations like I do every day. Because I'm half white, you know. But anyway. Although, to be honest, my ancestors that are not, or that my white ancestors are Irish, and they had a shitty time when they came here too. All four of them, they came here through Ellis Island, and good God, the Irish were not well thought of when my great grandparents immigrated to the United States. So just there you go. Anyway, yeah. So Coca-Cola at it again. If you want to unlock that course, you have to do a free trial of something. I'm tempted to, I wonder if there's a way to download that course. I'm going to see if I can figure that out and maybe check it out. Also, let's see. Oh, it's time to go. I should finish this up. California Republican State Senator offers anti-cancel culture bill. Democrats want to cancel her in response. State Senator Melissa Melendez of California tries to fight cancel culture, an epicenter of the black hole of political diversity. Let's see. She introduced a measure making political affiliation a protected class under California's anti-discrimination laws. She says it's a way to fight cancel culture. Known as the Diversity of Thought Act, would amend the Fair Employment and Housing Act to prohibit political bias and discrimination when California residents are applying for jobs or seeking housing. It's unfathomable to me that corporations and members of the public would ruin a person's career, business, and family because of their political ideology, said Melendez, who was elected to California's 28th Senate District in May. Free speech covers all speech, not just with which you agree. Which reminds me, go check out my latest video if you haven't seen it already. In fact, I'll even put that in the tabs later. My latest Proverbs, my Proverbs for Modern Times video, which is live right now on my channel if you haven't seen it yet. And then it comes on the heels of Disney firing Mandalorian star Gina Carano for a tweet. She compared being a Republican today to being Jewish prior to the Holocaust. So anyway, and now apparently there's people out there dragging her for that. Also in the tabs, which I'm not going to get to, there shouldn't be a double standard for law and order, according to Divide. Apparently, Attorney General nominee Merrick Garland plans to tell the Senate his priority is domestic terrorism and that he personally will supervise the prosecution of what he calls white supremacists who stormed the Capitol. So he's saying that everyone who was in that stuff going on in the Capitol on January 6th, and probably everyone peripheral to that, were white supremacists. Yeah, not. But anyway, just talking about how he's going to press that idea. Also in the tabs, right-wing extremists committed, according to DHS, quote, right-wing extremists, end quote, committed most deadly terrorist attacks last year. Now, this is something they do often because they will define things. For example, they'll define the Capitol, the selfie insurrection, as I call it, as a right-wing terrorist attack, but they won't call any of the, like, for example, the hubbub over the last year, BLM and Antifa, they won't call those terrorist attacks. So it's hard to, it's fascinating how they decide to determine this, and also who they call as right-wing extremists. You'll have to read that one for yourself. I've got several others in the tab, but I don't have time to go through them all. Just check out the tabs afterwards. I put the links, all the links to the stories we did today, or we're going to do today, in one link. You'll be able to find them at the end of the show. And if I change that out, I'm going to take this one out right now so you don't get the wrong one. So immediately after the show, I will post those links, and they will be in the description and also on the Discord server under the video of this particular stream. But I've got to go, people, because it's that time. And just want to thank everyone for being here. Before you do anything, click the like button before you go. Okay, that's important. Also, you can still share the stream, whether it's before or after the stream, because it will be a replay. Right? Because the replay of this is here. If you didn't see the beginning of the show, you can go back and watch it. Leave a comment in the comment section. If you're watching just the replay, leave a comment in the comment section. And also, if you want to be a sponsor of the show, you can do that during the show through Streamlabs and YouTube Super Chat, or 24 hours a day through Streamlabs and or Cashapp and Venmo, which those links are in the description down below. Thank you for those who sponsor the show. It's great to have you do that. Also, thank you for everyone who participates in the chat or even watches in the background. Sometimes you just got to work. So I understand that, but thank you everybody for being here. Also, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, click the bell, and invite one other person to come see the show sometime. That's how we grow, word of mouth for the most part. And I appreciate every one of you who do that for me. That's it for today, though. I got to go. My name is PDawgKnight. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.